Hey folks, Ora here. Today's video is going to be the Eye of the Jailer on Heroic, so we'll be going into that shortly. To let you guys know though, as I did say for the Terror Crew, this was all recorded on the same night. But that being said, hopefully you guys like the video and we will get into it. So, let's just start her up. So you've got the pull timer. As per usual, we do Blood Elf things and racial at the start. And we just go into it. So you pretty much want to use your cooldowns on pull here. The reason for that is the intermission phases. The intermission phases, at least for us and our current DPS, means that every 2 minutes I am going to be able to use wings on the eye, and my 1 minute periods in between will be on the intermission adds. Now, 2 ways you can improve your log damage here. You can do some AoE to the adds that spawn, but outside of that, you pretty much just need to pump single target damage. Now, I prefer single target, but sometimes that can't be helped, depending on which side you're on. So, like, at the moment, we don't have an ad on this side. Unfortunately, the pools that are dropped, actually, realistically, you should be stacking on each other to drop them in one spot. And the tank should have probably moved the mob a little bit faster, or not yeeted it across once the pool spawned, because we actually got flamed for that. You can see that I stood on Dover there, so we only actually got the one pool spawn. Now, there was a call to swap to DPS the other one, and I had to wait for the pool, and I swapped. You can't do this in Mythic, but with it being Heroic, it was pretty ad hoc. Apologies. You're probably going to find I'm yawning in quite a lot of these videos because they're all being recorded in one night. I am unfortunately going away for a couple of weeks for personal matters, and wanted to make sure that you guys had these, so they will be scheduled to release every day or every other day while I'm away. So hopefully you won't miss me. But yeah, as I was saying, so this particular fight, because it was ad hoc, we were essentially bouncing backwards and forwards quite a lot, which does affect your uptime, and as a paladin you kind of need the uptime. But you can see here that we've gone into stage 2, or a repeat of stage 1, depending on how you want to see it, and wings is back up, as are all the 1 minute, and we can just go into bursting. You can see here that my DPS is slowly dropping throughout the course of the fight, and this is because of uptime. Like, I am only being beaten by ranged DPS, so we can take that as a win in terms of we are currently the best melee DPS in the party. Unfortunately, there's still quite a bit that needs to be improved on in this fight. Specifically the uptime. Like, here would be a fine time to be using Divine Storms, but I don't. I think I'm hyper focusing on single target damage. Now, 1 minute to back up again. We've got 53 seconds until wings. And now we have both adds. So I should be Divine Storming here. Whether or not I... There we go. So I am Divine Storming this time around. I am doing some AoE damage. Now, the Shaman and I pretty much stand on top of each other, and we get the one pool spawn, which is what we needed to do. Now, this is the problem with the tank doing what he did in the first one and pulling away. The pools are poorly placed now. What you should do is you should try and hug the edge like they are now and dropping the pools over there. But unfortunately, there's not a lot that can be done. You can see I stand on top of Dover, our tank, and we drop the pools pretty tight. Now, as a Paladin, what you can do is you can drop that into the other pools. I believe I run into one in a second. Oh no, I tried to bubble to drop the stack, but unfortunately that didn't work. But what you can do is you can bubble and run that stack into one of the other pools, so it doesn't take up any more room than is needed. Now, this final phase is a race. You're taking reduced healing, a lot of damage is going out, so it's basically just kill before you die. If you have Venthyr Paladins with Ashen Hollow, it kind of trivializes this encounter, or this stage, because of the just raw amount of healing that Ashen Hollow does. But yeah, we pretty much just powered through at this point. Wasn't really a challenge. But Eye is a very, very simple fight. The couple of mechanics that were missed as a speed thing would be, if we went back, we'll see if we can spot it. Deathlink. Here we go. Well, firstly, you need to avoid the purple circles. Here we go. Pause. Right. There is a large AoE that targets an individual, and it's Deathlink. And what that Deathlink does is, depending on the amount of people that are in that circle, it will try and drag you off the edge here. Now, generally this is a thing that range need to deal with, but sometimes melee will need to be involved. If you're melee though, you cannot stand next to the edge because you will immediately be pulled off. The amount of people in the circle though does slow down how quickly you get pulled off. So that is something to bear in mind. But generally, as a whole, this fight is pretty standard in that it's, you know, standard tank and spank with a speed kill component. So to summarize then, going into your cooldown usage for this particular boss, you use your 2 minutes every time the eye is attackable. So on pull, then after the first intermission, and then in the third execute phase, you should have your wings up again, and your minutes will be up to use accordingly during the phase when you have to deal with the eyes, when you go into those intermission phases. So pretty good all round for Retribution Paladins for the Eye of the Jailer. Hopefully this video has kind of covered the things that you're wanting. If you do want me to go into more depth over these fights and positioning and tactics, then please obviously like and comment below, and I will get back to you. And when I am back at my desk, I will endeavour to improve on these videos. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.